This video is going to talk about one way you can add feedback to Dropbox assignments in D2L 10.3 using the GradeMark feature, which is part of the Turnitin originality check. This tool, which is completely included within D2L, will allow you to add feedback to the actual submitted document and allow students to see that feedback right in D2L without having to download or re-upload any documents. In order to use this tool, you'll have to make or change a few specific settings in the Dropbox folder itself. And I'm going to do that by selecting Edit Folder from the Dropbox folder I want to use in the Dropbox folder list. The first thing you need to do is make sure Originality Check is turned on. This will enable the Turnitin check for this assignment. Then you need to scroll down to the bottom, make sure that the Advanced Originality Checking options are available, and then make sure that you have the display box checked that will allow submitters to see originality reports. Then you'll also want to check the settings on this area right here. You may want to use these settings to limit how this particular document is checked against and added to the Turnitin submission library. If the document is a first draft, for example, and students will be submitting the same paper later, you will want to make sure to uncheck this Index Files for Originality checking box. Otherwise, the final draft of the paper will come up as plagiarized from this first draft because D2L will have kept it in the box by which they compare the files. Once these setting changes are made and you click Save and Close, you can then use GradeMark to provide grade feedback to your students. To do this, you click on the assignment name in the Dropbox just as you normally would to assess student work. Then, again, just as you normally would, you click Evaluate for the first student to whom you want to provide GradeMark feedback. Then, and here's where it's a little bit different than you might be used to, you click on the Originality Report link, which will be this colored box right here. But you should know that if the student just submitted their paper, it may take up to a few hours while that paper is being evaluated for plagiarism by Turnitin before this link is available. When it is, you click on it, and then if this is your first time using Turnitin to provide originality reports, you will need to agree to the terms of this agreement, close the Getting Started box, and then click on GradeMark, which is this second link here. Now you're on the GradeMark screen and you can start providing comments and editing the student paper. The most basic way to do this is to click on a specific area of the paper to bring up the comment window and then type your comment. Notice that you have the option to save this comment as a new quick mark. I'm going to do that, give it a title, I'll just call this one Sample, and then save the comment. Notice that the comment shows up right here and I can hover my mouse over it to expand. Also notice these quick marks here on the right-hand side, which are these little balloons that have commonly used comments. D2L provides a small collection of sample quick marks, but if you have comments that you commonly use when grading student papers, you can create your own quick marks, which will save you typing later on. Notice the sample quick mark I created is right here. It showed up in the list automatically. If you want to add a quick mark or link a comment to a passage of text, you simply highlight that text and then click the comment you wish to add. If you want to make a comment about the paper as a whole, you can click at the end of the document and create a comment here, or you can click this little icon down here on the right, which brings up the general comment screen. From this window, you can either record a voice comment or type a general paper text comment. The comments you make in Turnitin and GradeMark are automatically saved, so once you finish all of this grading, you can simply close the internet browser window to return to the D2L Dropbox folder page. Now the last step you need to do to provide this feedback to the student is give the student a grade if it's a graded assignment and click the Publish button. However, before you do that, I would recommend adding a quick comment here in this feedback area that says something to the extent of, to view feedback, click the GradeMark icon. This is going to help students know where their feedback is stored. Click the Publish button. Now you can see that the feedback is published. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this from the student side so you can see how students can view their feedback right within D2L. Now I've switched to a student view so you can see how students access GradeMark feedback. First of all, you can see that I have an icon and a view link here now available in the feedback column. This is the student view of their Dropbox folder page. Students simply click this link to begin accessing their feedback for this particular assignment. This is an example of what students see when they click on the View Feedback item here still within D2L. This is a link to the actual file that they submitted. They can see any feedback you typed down here in this area, and here you can see that last comment we typed. To view feedback, click the GradeMark icon. This is also where any files that you uploaded would show up. And here is where they can access either their originality report or what we're looking at specifically in this video, the GradeMark icon. Students click on this little icon right here to bring up a new window in their internet browser that contains their GradeMark feedback. Now you can see the student view of the feedback I just provided using GradeMark. It's very similar to the instructor view, with the general comments appearing here on the right-hand side and the individual comments appearing here in the document. Hovering my mouse over them as a student brings up the comment in more detail, and if I had a long comment typed, it would all pop up in this area. When finished looking at their feedback, the students can simply close the browser window to return to D2L.